Hey there, it's Bill Deweese, Pro Voiceover Talent and Voiceover Career Coach. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Before we get into the topic for today, I want to encourage you to check out the link below in the description. Get signed up for TV Affiliate Bootcamp. My friend and one of the country's premier TV affiliate voice talents, Aaron Bradley, will be teaching the course. And TV affiliate work is it's kind of been the black hole of voiceover in terms of knowledge. It's one of those things that people don't talk about that much. It's a big mystery, but Aaron Bradley has been doing it successfully for years. He's going to teach you how to do that. If you want to learn more about that, the class starts next week. So limited time, limited number of spots available. So check out the link below. All right, so today I want to talk about your role, the role of a voiceover within a project, because so often we receive a script. Oftentimes we don't know anything aside from what the script tells us, and perhaps the bit of direction that we get, where we get 25 conflicting, upbeat but yet subtle, high energy, powerful but soft. You know how it goes, all these conflicting directions that we get. So it can often be confusing as to really, what does the client want? But one thing that we have to keep in mind is that we are not the show. As a voiceover talent, usually we are not the show. We rather play a role in a bigger picture. So oftentimes there is video. It's a video-based project, maybe a TV commercial, maybe a corporate project, perhaps explainer video, but oftentimes there will be a video involved. So there is a visual that goes with the audio that you're providing. In addition to that, there's often music that will go with it, perhaps even sound effects. So you have these elements and you don't want them to compete. You want them to work together in harmony to be able to create an overall impact, an emotional impact on the listener. And I think one way to describe this, for those of you who are musicians, and perhaps even if you're not a musician, hopefully you'll get the analogy. But if you've ever played in a band, and I've played in a number of bands over the years, and I've played with a number of keyboard players. And one of the challenges, whenever you're playing with a keyboard player, is if you bring in a keyboard player that's used to being solo accompaniment, where they're playing the role of, percussion, and they have to make sure they cover the bass and all the parts basically on the keyboard. So it's a very busy way to play. But if they're playing solo accompaniment, that may be what's required of them. But if they join a band where you already have a drummer, you have a bass guitar player, you may have a rhythm guitar player and a lead guitar player, and they may be the fifth, sixth, or seventh member of that band, and they can't try to be percussion and bass and guitar and everything on the keyboard. They have to find their spot, and sometimes their spot is just to pad or play chords. Let them ring out for a bar or two, and that's their role, because when you put it in the overall context, it fits together and it sounds good and it makes sense. But if everybody's trying to cover every base, then it becomes busy and overdone and it loses impact. Same thing in voiceover. And again, I hope that analogy helps to make this a little clearer. You play a role. So what I'm going to do is play for you just the voiceover portion. This was a script for Blue Halo, and they contract with governments to create or to sell weapons, modern warfare weapons. So if you were to look at the script, you would know that it needs to generate a sense of confidence, inspire confidence. I think that's in security and safety. And if you're looking at just the script alone, you might think that you need to be very aggressive as a voiceover talent, and that you really need to make it big and bold and impactful. But you have to remember that it's not just your voice. There's a video, there's a visual that goes with this, as well as there will be music and perhaps sound effects. So when I had the client, and he admitted this to me later, he said, when you had me read this, he said, it didn't feel right to me. It felt like I should lean into it more. And I'm not using his exact words, but the essence of what he was saying was that I felt it needed to be more aggressive. But I kept asking him to back off and to get softer and to get more subtle. And this was the final read. Here's the read. Take a listen.
The next flight will be more difficult. The next adversary more sophisticated. The next battlefield more remote.
And I'll stop it there, partway through. So it wasn't the next battle it wasn't big and bold and deep and loud. It was very soft. And it didn't feel right to him, understandably so, because he was only hearing his part. But then he said when he heard the final product, it all made sense. He better understood how the voiceover fit into the overall mix. Now, and this is not with video, this is just with music, but let me bring it up and I'll play a little bit of this for you. So listen to it mixed with music.
The next flight will be more difficult. The next adversary more sophisticated. The next battlefield more remote. Where the modern threat rises, Blue Halo enables the warfighter to rise higher.
Okay, so you have this music that's aggressive and it's driving and it's creating this undercurrent of confidence and forward movement, while the voiceover is kind of riding that wave and allowing that music to create the strong sense of confidence by not trying to compete with it and overpower it. Now, again, this is just one example. Sometimes you're required to be loud and aggressive, but what you have to understand, the point of this video, is to know that you're not the show. You're a player. So understand your role, understand where you fit in, so that you can better contribute and allow the final product to be more impactful. So if you're having a hard time winning auditions, chances are you're working really hard at being the show, whereas perhaps you need to back off a little bit and know and imagine that there's a visual, that there's music, maybe there's sound effects that are actually carrying a lot of the load for you. So just play your part. And if you do that, it will be more impactful. It will have more impact on the client, and the odds of being hired become greater. Hey, again, check out the link below in the description. Get signed up for Aaron Bradley's TV Affiliate Voiceover Bootcamp starting next week. And I look forward to seeing you there and talking to you soon.